Did a moment of profound grief just accidentally expose the biggest, most closely guarded secret in the history of the South Korean entertainment industry? When millions of fans around the world bowed their heads in collective sorrow to mourn the tragic passing of Jung Hoseok's beloved grandmother, absolutely no one could have predicted that the most viral, controversial, and deeply emotional moment of the somber afternoon would have nothing to do with the funeral itself. The internet has officially been shattered by an exclusive, heart-stopping piece of paparazzi footage that has left the entire globe asking one frantic question. How did the youngest member of the world's most famous music group end up slipping away from a heavily guarded memorial service entirely alone with the father of his bandmate, Kim Taehyung? This is not just a passing rumor, this is a seismic event that is forcing the world to re-evaluate the deeply hidden, intensely private familial ties within the walls of HYBE Corporation. What exactly is happening behind closed doors, and why is the sudden, unexplainable departure of Taehyung And Jungkook in the passenger seat of Mr. Kim's private vehicle sparking a firestorm of controversy and breathless speculation? For years, the fiercely loyal fanbase known as ARMY has dissected every glance, every shared meal, and every whispered conversation between the BTS members, but this unprecedented visual evidence crosses a boundary from simple friendship into deeply intertwined family territory. Is this a display of the ultimate, unconditional brotherly bond, or is there a hidden layer to their personal lives that the agency has desperately tried to keep out of the relentless spotlight? The sight of Jungkook, dressed in a sharp, mournful black suit, sliding silently into the dark luxury SUV beside Taehyung's father has triggered an emotional avalanche, bringing fans to tears while simultaneously igniting fierce debates about privacy, respect, and the true meaning of family. Prepare to question everything you thought you knew about the personal boundaries of global superstars, because this unexpected revelation is not just a shocking twist, it is an emotional rollercoaster that proves truth is always stranger than fiction. The sheer controversy of this moment stems from the timing. On a day meant purely for mourning Jhope's family loss, the spotlight was violently hijacked by this bizarre, intimate escape. Why wasn't Jungkook with his own managers? Why did Taehyung's father, a man who famously shies away from the blinding flash of the media, take on the role of personal escort for the golden Magne? The absolute shock value of this incident has paralyzed social media algorithms, with fans and critics alike tearing apart every single frame of the footage to find answers. As tears fall for Jhope's heartbreaking loss, the completely different kind of emotional storm is brewing over the undeniably shocking sight of Jungkook and Mr. Kim vanishing into the soul twilight together. The atmosphere outside the private memorial hall in the upscale district of Gangnam was already heavy with a suffocating, palpable grief. The sky itself seemed to mourn, casting a dull, grey pallor over the normally vibrant city streets as the members of BTS arrived one by one to support their designated sunshine, Jhope, during one of the darkest days of his life. Security was at an absolute maximum, with a perimeter of formidable bodyguards ensuring that the grieving family would not be subjected to the intrusive lenses of the press. Yet, in the modern age of digital surveillance and relentless fan devotion, absolute privacy is nothing more than an illusion. The media had respectfully agreed to keep their distance, but freelance photographers and eagle-eyed onlookers were stationed just beyond the official barricades, their cameras capturing the heavy hearts and tear-stained faces of the global icons. It was a scene of ultimate sorrow, a stark reminder that beneath the glittering stadium lights and record-breaking achievements, these 7 men are human beings profoundly vulnerable to the agonizing pain of personal loss. However, the narrative of the day was violently derailed in the late afternoon. As the initial private ceremony concluded and attendees began to disperse, the predictable choreography of idol management completely fell apart in a matter of seconds. Typically, artists of this astronomical magnitude are escorted into highly secure, heavily tinted agency vans, flanked by managers and security personnel to ensure their safe return to their private residences. The protocol is strict, unwavering, and designed entirely to protect the image and physical safety of the stars. But as the heavy oak doors of the memorial hall opened, the sequence of events took a turn so bizarre and unexpected that industry veterans are still struggling to comprehend it. Jungkook, looking exhausted and deeply emotional, bypassed the designated HYBE vehicles entirely. He walked with a quiet, deliberate purpose past the bewildered security detail and headed straight toward a sleek, bandmarked black vehicle idling near the edge of the VIP parking sector. The collective gasp from the few onlookers who witnessed the moment could be felt across the internet hours later when the footage leaked. The window of the mysterious vehicle rolled down just a fraction, revealing the distinct, familiar features of Kim Taehyung's father. Mr. Kim, a figure deeply respected within the fandom but rarely seen in public, offered a small, solemn nod. Without a single moment of hesitation, without looking back at his managers or the remaining band members, Jungkook opened the door and slid into the seat beside him. The door clicked shut, the engine purred to life, and the vehicle merged seamlessly into the chaotic Seoul traffic, leaving behind a trail of absolute pandemonium. The sheer audacity of the moment, the blatant disregard for standard protocol and the deeply intimate nature of the pairing, sent an immediate shockwave through the entertainment reporting community. Why is this so controversial? To the casual observer, a young man getting a ride home from his friend's father might seem entirely mundane, perhaps even heartwarming. But in the hyper-scrutinized, fiercely protective world of Korean pop music, every single action is magnified a million times over. The controversy lies in the deeply complex web of idol relationships and the relentless rumors that have surrounded Taehyung and Jungkook for over a decade. Fans have long celebrated their incredibly close bond, often noting how their families have occasionally interacted in the past. But this level of integration, where Jungkook seeks comfort and transportation from Taehyung's father rather than his own staff or family on a highly emotional day, shatters the illusion of standard agency-managed friendships. It violently thrusts their private lives into the public domain, forcing everyone to acknowledge that the ties binding these young men go far deeper than blood or contracts. The emotional impact of this leaked footage cannot be overstated. Millions of fans woke up to a timeline flooded with grainy, slow-motion clips of Jungkook walking toward that car, their hearts aching for Jhope while simultaneously bursting with overwhelming curiosity about this hidden family dynamic. Social media platforms instantly transformed into digital war zones. One faction of the internet sobbed over the beautiful, profound connection this implied, interpreting the scene as a beautiful testament to how the BTS members and their families have truly become one massive, interconnected support system. To them, Taehyung's father acting as a protective figure for a grieving, exhausted Jungkook is the ultimate proof of their unbreakable brotherhood. They argue that in a moment of intense vulnerability, Jungkook sought the quiet, paternal comfort of a man he likely views as a second father, escaping the suffocating pressure of his celebrity status. Yet, the completely different, a highly vocal demographic of the internet immediately sparked a furious controversy, crying foul over the blatant disrespect shown to Jhope's mourning period. Critics and rival fandoms weaponized the footage, launching vicious think pieces and viral threads demanding to know why Jungkook's mode of transportation was suddenly eclipsing the tragic death of a beloved grandmother. The clickbait headlines practically wrote themselves, generating millions of views by pitting the members' actions against the solemnity of the occasion. Was it a deliberate stunt? Was it a massive failure on the part of the HYBE security team? The internet loves a scandal, and the media quickly twisted the narrative, suggesting that a rift might be forming behind the scenes. Why would Jungkook live separately from the others? Where was Taehyung during this exact moment? The endless barrage of questions created an intoxicating, chaotic news cycle that completely overshadowed the original, somber purpose of the gathering.